video walk on Heartland Pioneer. So this does fold down. You just undo these pins right here, pull these pins, pull this pin, fold it down. Make sure you repin it back in this hole so it's not resting on the bumper and bouncing all around. Same on this side, and then it has a cargo capacity of 200 pounds. Short cord, it's your short cord. It's a 30 amp short cord. They're about 25-30 feet long. Outdoor shower, pull this out. You got hot, cold. It's nice if you got kids, dirty feet, or pets you need to spray off. It's perfect for that. City water. So if your site has water, this is where you're going to hook it up. You don't need to run your pump or anything. You just operate off of city water pressure. Black tank flush. So when you're dumping your black tank, you can have your hose hooked up to here. And there's a little nozzle in there that'll spray out your tank, help it keep it fresh. So right down there, the one on your left, it's a black tank. One on your right is gray tank. Yep. So wastewater is your gray tank. Sewer is going to be your black tank. Always make sure these are closed. Push them in. Make sure they're closed before you take that cap off, or you might get a nasty mess. And then I always recommend doing your black tank first and then your gray. That way it'll flush out your hose. Your bumper caps do come off, so you can store your sewer hose in there. Moving right along. We're here. Not a whole heck of a lot left on this side. You have other access to pass-through storage here. A lot of good information here. Your VIN, model number, gross vehicle weight rating, cargo carrying capacity, tire size, all that. It's good information there. Tire pressure, 65 psi. Go off of this number, not what your tires say. Group 24 RV Marine grain battery. Negative lead. I always disconnect that if it's going to be a long time in between trips. I always take my battery out in the winter so the cold doesn't kill your battery. Put it in your garage or your basement, somewhere warmer than outside. Propane. You don't have to take it off, this cover off to access it. It's just a lot easier to show people. Dual 20-pound cylinders. They are filled. On or off here. It's all the way open or all the way closed. Some people have it halfway thinking, oh, I'm going to save some propane that way. That's not how it works. Automatic changeover regulator. So whichever one this one's pointing to, it's going to pull from that tank first once this one's depleted. If you were to have this one on, it's going to automatically switch to pulling from this tank. However, this does not move. So you could be halfway through this one and still think you're on this one. So what I do with mine is I have one on, one off. If I'm cooking or something and I see the flame go down, I have to come out here physically. I'll turn this one on, turn this one off, and then I'll flip it over. That way I have in the back of my head, hey, this tank's empty, it's time to get it filled. Some people have the split in the middle, thinking it's going to pull from both tanks equally. No, one or the other. Boom. Power tongue jack with a little light. Definitely helps at night, where you can raise and lower. It beats cranking it every day of the week. 7-way chains, and then you got your cable for your breakaway. That goes to a little box right there. So if you're towing and your hitch were to come on down, it's going to pull the pin out that box, activate the brakes on your trailer. Along the other side of that storage, got a couple cranks. That one right there, this one right here. That's a manual backup for those. And then the other one's a manual backup for your tongue jack. You do have some stabilizer jacks here. We'll just do the front ones because the back ones look exactly the same. It does one and then slowly starts doing the other. So if you're at an uneven ground, once that one starts touching the ground, this one will keep going. Now these are not meant for leveling your camper. Do not try to pick the front end up with it or the rear end with these. There's an auto reset breaker in there and it will trip that breaker. So that and then go back up. If you want your trailer to be level it front to back with your tongue jack. And if you want it side to side as you're backing in, blocks under your tires or 2x12 or something backing onto the low side. Do not try to use these to level your camper. Boom. Moving along. GFCI protected outlet. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit. So if one were to trip, they're all going to trip. Cable outlet. So if you're outside, you can have a TV out here. Hook the TV up to there. There's a cable inlet. Let's see. We might have just walked straight past it. It's on the outside somewhere. Oh, you might not have a cable outlet on the outside. That might just be for antenna. It looks so. It looks as that's so. So that'll be for feed your TV outside off of an antenna. Water heater. Very simple to use. As soon as you're ready to use it, throw this plug in that hole. Start it by hand. It is nylon. You don't want to cross thread it. And 15/16 is the socket size. I recommend picking up like a short well socket with a little, about a 6-inch extension and a ratcheting wrench. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy. That's the easiest way to do it. They make a tool for it, but you have to like go in there with it. You scrape your knuckles up. Ratchet's way easier. I'll keep it clean in here and in there. Debris, sawdust, spider webs. I've seen bees' nest. I've seen a bird's nest in these things. So when you fill it up, you should be good to go. And then I always recommend draining it after every single trip. You don't want water sitting in this tank because there is a tank in here. You don't want water sitting there; it gets stagnant. So before you drain it, before you pull that plug off, disconnect all sources of water. Turn all the water off. Crack your pressure relief open. It'll stay like that. Water will come squirting out. Everything out here is designed to get wet, so that's just fine. Once it's done squirting out, snap it closed. Then you can take your plug out. If you neglect to do that first, you're gonna get a hot bath, and that's no good. Especially if you've been running, it'll be hot. There's a lot of pressure in there. So keep it clean. If you start seeing streaks build up on here or there, or up over there, clean it out. See if I can't get this. Yeah. Freshwater fill. So if you're filling your onboard fresh tank, you fill it from here. Stick your hose in there. Do not jam it in there. It even tells you do not leave this unattended. You don't want to pressurize your tank. And as a monitoring panel, you can monitor its progress. And then you got the longest one right there, that long blue one, that's your drain for your fresh tank. The other two are your drains for your low points. And that's just the lowest point of the water line. And then right here, you can see there's a 3/4 inch little nut looking thing. Use that other 3/4 inch crank, and that'll be a manual backup for your slide out. Furnace, exhaust, keep it clean in here. They make screens you could put on there. They don't recommend you run it with the screen on, but as far as like storage and transportation, that's going to keep insects and debris from building up in there. Similar deal with your fridge. Clean it here and down there and there. Keep this clear. That's for condensation. You could even pop this cover off if you want and clean it in there. Range vent. So now it's set to open. You can see this flap right here. If you're cooking on your stove and you have your fan, exhaust fan running, make sure this is open or else it's not doing you any good. And then you just push it in close, just like that. When you're traveling, keep it from flapping or insects getting in overnight. Similar switch, similar deal to the front one. Outdoor fridge only works when you're plugged in. Do have a nice little outdoor kitchen area. Unlock that, pull it out. You have a propane line. Let's see if we can't. Right back here. Hook it into there. Quick disconnect, just like an air fitting. And then there's a little silver valve on the edge of it that you open up. Very simple. And then you just push that in, turn it, and light it, the burner with like a barbecue lighter or a match. Do you have an outdoor sink? So this is, you can see these little plastic tabs in there. Push it in, turn this part, twist it to lock it. Boom. It's flexible, change the direction. This basin does not have a drain in it, so if you fill it, pick it up, dump it out. Set that back in there, close it back up. Make sure you latch it closed. Yeah, very simple. And this door has magnets on it to hold it open. There's one more thing on the back. You're pre-wired for a backup camera. It doesn't come with the camera. You have to buy the kit, and then you can have us install it. And it's pretty simple. And then you just have the screen that goes on your truck. The camera uses power from your marker lights, so you have to have your running lights on your truck. Very simple. Awning, we already have it open. So it does not automatically stop when you open it. Look, when you see the bare tube like that and the flap, then you stop extending it. If you keep holding it extended, eventually rolling backwards because the tube's going the same direction, but now it's wrapping the fabric the wrong way around the tube. It is adjustable. These are pretty high up. You might need one of those little folding plastic step stools. You just pinch these in. You need two hands to do this, so I can't really show you. Pinch it in. Little metal tabs, both sides, you can see them. Then you grab it from here, and you pull this in. It's gonna push this in, push that out, which will pitch down an edge. So if it's raining or drizzling a little bit, you can have water come off to the one side rather than all the way along the edge. However, if it's storming, really windy, getting big gust of wind, roll your awning up. You don't want to risk it. If you blow your awning up, it's kind of expensive to get replaced. If you roll it in wet, that's fine. As soon as it gets sunny and dry out, roll your awning back out. Let it dry off. If you have it rolled up while holding moisture, it's gonna get dirty. It's gonna get streaky. So that pretty much is it for the outside. We'll head on into the inside. We'll go to the bedroom. Light switch for the bedroom is right here. That just controls that light. That light right there, you just turn on with the switch right there. There's not a whole heck of a lot in the bedroom. You have an outlet over here, matching one over there. Spot for a TV. So knock on it if you want to mount the TV. You can see as this wall is flexing here. Don't mount it there. Nice and solid here. You can see the staples. That's where you would put your TV mount. Then you hook your TV coax to there, power there. This right there, this is pre-equipped for a Wi-Fi extender if you choose to have one installed. Not a lot of people do. You don't really need the Wi-Fi if you're camping, enjoying the outdoors. This pops open like that. Sets like that to use as a normal window. For an emergency, you would push this all the way out as hard as you can, grab this, yank the screen off, then you would jump out this window. Pretty simple. Storage on either side. I think they both have clothes racks. And then your bed does lift up. Let's see if I can't show y'all. Lift up. Storage underneath the bed too. Door. So this is your thing. Keeps it from sliding when you're traveling. When you want to use it, twist that, pull that off, slide it. Doesn't lock closed or anything like that. And then you slide it open again. Make sure before you travel you retain that, or else you might wind up with a dent on the door on your wall. Moving over here. Not much over here. You have a little outlet there if you want to put some appliances or something there. You can charge your phones. You can have your chargers. Set your phones up here. So the main control area, this light right here, is your main row of lights. All the other lights you'll have to turn on the fixtures. This one right here does your awning lights. This one slide out. This one awning. So up is in, out is out. This is that switch for that Wi-Fi extender I was showing you. And then below that, another light switch. So this one right here does LEDs along the side. This one does LEDs on your awning. Not awnings, slide out. Then you have some monitoring. So water pump, that turns on and off your water pump. Water heater and gas, one's off of propane. Water electric, one's non-electric. You can run them both at once, that's no big deal. However, if you are going to run electric, make absolutely sure you have water in it, or you get about 5 minutes before you burn out your heating element. You can measure battery, full, Especially you have to drain your fresh tank. We fill them to test them. Black, you have to look eye level. If you look above, if you see you look above, it looks like it says 1/3. If you look below, that's empty. Gray is empty. Fresh, we need to get dumped for you. Very simple to use. Sometimes your black will read full, even though you know you just emptied it. They make a tank bowl cleaner you can pour down your toilet. A lot of people say if you put a bag of ice down in there and then drive around, that'll break up all the loose debris. Because stuff, residue, gets stuck on your sensor, and then it'll give you false readings. Here, big old pantry. Nice closet, nice lots of storage. This unit has lots of storage. And let's see if I can't find it. So a couple manuals there, that's for your outdoor. Yeah, plenty of storage here. Light switch there. Like I said, if it's not these main row of lights, it's pretty much controlled on the fixture itself. Blue bag right now, that's going to have your manuals for everything. So any part that was installed here has a manual. And then there'll be a Heartland manual. That's very broad. It covers all the Heartland's products. Microwave. I don't think we're actually plugged in all the way. So let's make sure we're plugged in all the way so I can demonstrate your appliances. My bad. I can't look a little unprepared today. Come in here. Yep, in case you're curious what the end of a 30 amp, that's what it looks like. Yeah. Now we have 120 volts to all our necessary appliances. There you go. So your microwave only works when you're plugged in. Other than that, it's like your standard household microwave. You have a light, if your cooktop fan takes a while to kick on. Now you hear it. It's like got a spin up. Folding glass top. That's going to act as a backsplash. Burner is very easy to use. You turn this little notch there, turn it to light. Click your sparker. The gas is off, so that just burned off the gas that was left in the lines. But same deal for all of them. Your stove's a little different. So there's a pilot in there. Can't light it with your sparker. You have to turn this to pilot on, if you can see it. Push that in. You can see it push in. And then you go in there with a barbecue lighter or a match, and you have to physically light that pilot as you're holding this in. Once your pilot is lit, you can turn it to whatever temperature you want. It's kind of hard to see. 300 all the way to broil. If you don't feel like having to relight your pilot again, you know you're going to be cooking it again in a few hours. So when you turn it off, turn it to pilot on. Shuts your burner off, but leaves the pilot on. I always recommend before you go to bed, turning your pilot off. You don't want any lit pilots overnight. It's just not safe. Fridge, super simple. You have on or off, auto or gas. So if it's sticking out like that, it's on gas. If it's flush, it's on auto. Just recommend leaving it on auto, honestly. Auto's going to default to 110, so if you're plugged in, that's what it's going to use. If your gas were to be on and someone would trip over the power cord or the campground would lose power, it's going to switch to running off of propane for you. Unlike your fridge at home, these do take about 10-12 hours to get to operating temperature. So if you have the opportunity to, plug it in the night before. Let it get cold. That way you don't have to wait as long when you're going to go use your fridge when you get to where you're going. TV. Nice big old TV. Your remote for it's right here. You have your radio. You can do power. You have different zones, so that's going to be a little stacky. But if you push and hold band, as you see underneath it says zone 1, turn zone 1 off, and it's just going to be the outside speakers. Push and hold where it says the mute button, it turns the outside speakers off, and then vice versa. So you can have your speakers off on the inside and still be listening to music outside. Let's say if you had someone napping or something. You can go to mode, auxiliary in, left and right, Bluetooth. So you look for Xera, that model number right there. So the Bluetooth button right there, that's the mode. And you pair your phone to it. Very simple to use. Sometimes they ask for a passcode. It's either all ones, all zeros, or sometimes it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be a 4-digit if they do ask for it. So that's very simple. Skip through your channels, volume knob there, presets, push and hold to save a preset. Auxiliary, and then Bluetooth, USB. Get 2 USBs underneath there, and then you also have an outlet right there. And it's hooked to there. So make sure that little green light is on if you're using your antenna. That's your booster for your antenna. And then it's all snaked up through here. So if you wanted to have like a DVD player or a game console or something up here, you can wire it up to there and then do it on the back of your TV. Very simple. Plenty of storage on either side of the TV cabinet too. Breaker box. All your breakers for your 110, all your fuses for your 12 volt. You have 240s, those are your main converter fuses. Your converter is what converts your 120 to 12 volt. And then you have 15 amp fuses for everything else. Keep some spare fuses. You never know when you need them. Right below that, propane gas detector. So if you were to have a propane leak, that's going to beep for you. That is hardwired to the 12 volt system. So just like your smoke alarm at home, when it starts getting low battery, it'll give like chirps every once in a while. That'll do that too. If that were the case, then your battery up front, the one I was showing you by the propane, is probably dying. Get your camper plugged in, let it get charged up. Thermostat. You get mode. Tap through it. Oop. First it'll ask auto. You could do high. Let's see, high or low. Oop, there we go. Yep. Auto, I just recommend auto. That's going to allow it to default to whatever temperature you have it set at. Tap it again. AC goes as low as 55. Tap it again. Your furnace goes up to 90 actually. It's very simple to use. Come on in through the bathroom. Very simple. Switch on your right is your fan. So when you use your fan, make sure that's open right there. The little knob opens up your vent. You can also turn on and off your fan from here. If you turn it off from here, your switch isn't going to work anymore. See? So turn it back on. Turn it back off. This is your switch for your lights in here. Resettable outlet. That's your GFCI outlet. So if any of your GFCIs trip, and you'll know they're GFCIs because the outlet will be labeled GFCI trips, you hit the reset button in here. Other than that, very simple. Simple shower. It's a bath. If you want to use your shower, pull that up. It diverts water to your shower head. Toilet's very simple. There's a pedal underneath it, right to the side here. As long as you're pushing that pedal, it's going to flush, and then you do have a cutoff to cut off flow of water to your toilet. It's very simple in here. Couch turns into a bed. Lifts it up. Enough for one person or 2 small children. Lift it back up again. This folds down. Dual cup holders with lights in them, as well as USB ports. That's perfect. Right in front of the TV. You can have your drinks. You can light up your drinks with the lights, and even have your phone charging as you're doing it. Light up here for here. Oop, sorry about the brightness. Similar deal over here. Right in there. And then this turns into a bed as well. Pop this table off. Pop the legs out. The table rests on these huge shelves. And then you just play puzzle with your cushions. It'll be these 2 cushions right here. So they give you extra cushions here, as you can see. These are what you would then place on your table once it's lowered to create a platform to sleep on. Then you have one more emergency exit right here. Pull them handles up, pivot the window out, jump out there. And you do have, let's see if I can see it, smoke detector. That's one of your safety appliances. One's off your standard 9-volt battery. To get the chirps, replace the battery. And then your carbon monoxide alarms in the bedroom, same deal, 9-volt battery. So your carbon monoxide alarm, your smoke alarm, your LP detector, your fire extinguisher all have a 10-year lifespan. So this is a 2020. They were installed in 2020. So in a 2030, you have to replace them. Whether you ever use your fire extinguisher, whether your alarms have never gone off, replace them. Just peace of mind. They say they need to be replaced in 10 years. Replace them in 10 years. And that's pretty much it for the inside of your Heartland Pioneer. Enjoy.